Okay, the Clarence Hotel. This is Harry Gramling, head technician of the Clarence Hotel. I just want to go over some maintenance issues on original install of the HVAC system with the fan coil units, and a lot of problems that was generated from proper install of some of these fan coil units. One of the biggest problems of the fan coil unit here, you have a EMI model. It's a chiller system. Cold water runs through these drains here coming from the chiller. Cold water runs through two lines, line coming in, line going back out, returning. One of the big situations is a lot of the units have the insulation exposing the cold pipe, allowing condensation build up when the hot air hits it, and it'll cause to leak. They'll start to leak. Another situation with the unit is the biggest situation about condensation drains. This is the condensation pan here. This is the coil. The coil gets cold from the pipes. The pipe water, cold water, 45-degree water going through the system from the chiller, which goes through the coil here, causes cold. The fan blows cold air on the coil, brings out the cold air, and that's how the system works. These coils build up condensation and water, and this water drips down into the pan here. The pan has a drain at the end here. This little hose here, hose coming down, going down, and out to the plumbing. And one of the biggest problems with the system is the way it was plumbed. A lot of the plumbing that's coming in, first off, is not pitched. The angle of that plumbing going in the wall on a lot of these models in the rooms here, the pitch is not going down, which allows water to stand in the pipe. On some of the models, they put condensation pumps, which is a small pump that actually is located right about this one. This one doesn't have one, but it's usually located right around here. There's some of them that had been installed and kind of looked like it was installed after or during the process of installation, noticing that the condensation drains would be an issue. Now, on this particular one, condensation problem had been starting to leak. Now, the way they plumbed this, I have to blame that this, you can't really see it very well, but this is not pitched very well. Now, I believe they were banking on that the pan on the top here is higher than the actual plumbing. However, the pan will drip down, and if you're getting a great amount of condensation coming down and a higher water flow coming down here, you might be okay if that water flow is fast enough to go through the pipes, but all this extra line doesn't help much, very at all. It just allows the water to have to travel through the pipe more. And if it's a slower drip, that slow drip will stay in this pipe longer and actually start to build up residue or sludge or what have you, which actually would cause a clog. Now, on some situations, on a lot of condensation, they come up with a pan. That the pan here, there's a chemical. It's called a condensation chemical. It's a puck. You put it in the pan, and it has a chemical to help reduce the sludge and reduce the buildup going into the line. I would guess that this pan is kind of too small for that. This pan actually is very tight against the coil. The coil comes out to right about here, and on the other end it's very tight to the other end too. So there's kind of no really room to put a puck in there. So the only way you would be able, the maintenance of this particular one would have to, you'd have to disconnect this hose here and actually get a compressor or something to blow air down through the line and clear out the sludge buildup or whatever. Now, on this install, I would suggest that they didn't use this amount of extra hosing, because as you see here, the hose goes in, and there's a whole bunch of excess that could have been eliminated, and to help the water flow better. But for the most part, the pitch of this plumbing is where I'm finding a lot of the problems are. I would guess that was maybe contracted from another contractor, the plumbing, and the units were installed after the fact, which on this model the ceiling is so tight to it, and there was really no room for that consideration of the plumbing pitch. I will also show you a model with a condensation pump in it. But before, I'd like to mention that some of these units, the way they're positioned on the wall and in this condition, the condensation pan definitely is prone to leak. And some of these units are actually placed over TVs, which in this situation would damage the TV with leaking. Let's see, what else? Let me think. Now, there's an air filter that goes over this coil, and the maintenance of that is to keep that filter clean. That filter actually just keeps the coils from getting dirty, and if the filter is clogged, it will create more condensation on here and actually increase the water flow going through the pan. Now, with that air filter clean, there shouldn't be, if everything is installed correctly, there shouldn't be any spillage out of the condensation pan. But I'm finding on a lot of these models, this is not actually the issue. The airflow is not the issue. The condensation pans aren't installed right. They're kind of like very problems. There's too many problems in a lot of situations that they're installed that probably could have been considered an install. I will video another unit here that has a pump on it. I want to go over that situation with it too. Be right back.